Right. Who deal here? Stripes and coffee. Um, Playoffs start today for us, essentially. Got the Chiefs matchup, and I know this is one that everybody kind of had penciled in, and while they had it on New Year's Day, the not the night game, but the prime time slot, I think that they were looking at this to be a an epic showdown with the two teams from last year's AFC Championship game. Um, this year, both teams look much different. The Bengals had got off to a slow start. Defense hasn't been up to par of what we thought it could and should be. Injuries have bit us. We lost Joe Burrow. So here we are, with our defense not looking quite like itself with our backup, Jake Browning. And on the Chiefs side, um, nobody's able to catch the ball. Patrick Mahomes, quite honestly, in a lot of his games this year, has not looked quite like himself. Their defense has been really good, but they just have not been the same team. They are not going to get that number one seed as the Ravens are rolling, as much as it pains me to say. But it should still be an interesting game. So for us, we got to win out after that ugly, ugly loss to the Steelers. That was just pathetic and disheartening. Yeah. So it just doesn't give you a good feeling, even if we get in the playoffs. Like, what could we actually do? Just can we play good enough for four straight games and go through somebody like the Ravens? But um, I'm just watching every game, and enjoying it the best way that I can. But we are getting Cam Taylor Britt back, and it looks like Jamar Chase is going to play. That's going to be a big help. And we're going to be playing in Arrowhead, which is already tough in and of itself. But we're going to have those pieces back that should help us out a lot. So I think Kansas City's offensive line has not been playing great. So, I mean, this could come down to trench play. Really, I mean, as easy as that is to say, especially, like all year, I probably said many of our games are just going to come down to trench play, but I really think that's the case in this game. The Raiders were able to just kind of run it down their throat last week. They didn't allow them to score a touchdown, I don't believe, but they were just running it. And they even when they knew they were running it at the end, Mahomes kind of did some Mahomes magic and got them a touchdown. And they were just hoping their defense could get a 3-and-out and get the ball back and try, to win the game. But they they weren't able to stop that run, even though they knew they were just going to keep it on the ground and pound it out. And they pounded it all the way down to the red zone. So, and I think it just melted out at that point because, the game was iced and no more timeouts. But just if we are able to be able to do that, now our offensive line has not been it's been up and down. I mean, it's had its good moments. I wouldn't say it's like it's horrible. It's better than it has been, I think, as a whole the past couple of years, but we've had some bad moments and not great games. But, if we can play good this game, and easier said than done, against their defensive line. So, um, oh, who's their big defensive tackle? Can't think of his name right now for some reason, but game wrecker, and he wrecked it for us last year. I don't know why I can't think of his name because, um, yeah, he's just brings back bad memories. But if he wrecks the game, and we're not able to do anything, that that's just not going to be a recipe for success. And then the same on their side, if Mahomes has not looked awesome and their offensive line has not looked great, if we can get some pressure, which we haven't necessarily been great at, but Hendrickson is able to hit home, and maybe this is a game where Miles Murphy breaks out a little bit. That would be great to see, but it's just all going to come to right there. Having Cam Taylor Britt should be huge to maybe help hold up in the back end, and there's nobody in their receiver room that's scary. And then the only guy really you should be scared of is Travis Kelce, and he hasn't even looked as great as what he can be. So just don't let him destroy you, and don't let them do something silly like pound us on the ground, and where Patrick and company doesn't have to do so much, and then beat us that way. But um, yeah, I don't have a ton to say on this one. It's just kind of do or die. It really is. It's playoffs for us start. If we don't win out, we're not going to make the playoffs. With last week's loss, we knew we had to go 2-1 minimum down the stretch, and on paper the Steelers looked like the most winnable game, but we saw how that went. Um, Man, Browns next week might be winnable just due to the fact that I think that their seeding is already set. So I don't. There's a very good chance they could be resting their starters. So that might make that a winnable game, just due to that. So this is against the team that's got their backs against the wall and is going to want to play as hard as they can, and they're at home. So I don't know. We'll see with this one. It should be fun. It should still be fun, and I'm going to take everything I can get with this team. We've not given up. We've not had any quit in us, and we just kind of keep coming. It's not been perfect, and we've had some ugly moments, but we'll see what we can do if we can just win these last couple games and get some free football, and kind of go beyond the expectations we may have had after we saw Joe Burrow go down, and really hoping for a Jake Browning bounce back game. He had some great games in between the two Steelers games, so he's got it in there. So that makes me feel really good having him as a backup going forward. That Joe Burrow goes down for 2, 3, 4 games, that he can come in and win us a 2 or 3 games, down the stretch when needed. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to watch, when I hope that we win, pull out this win and, kind of keep going. So we got something to kind of cheer for next week at least. And that's all we really could ask for, is have some fun, meaningful football down the stretch. So Houdale out. I'm going to get this posted. I'm going to go watch this game here in about an hour. So Stripes Coffee out, Houdale out.